Who is in here? Slushee. Newfie. Anyone else that was in this? I don't have that many replays. We're kind of just chilling. Probably gonna run through these fairly quick. Okay. I'm gonna check one more time and see if I have... nope. That's unfortunate. Okay. So I guess I should probably just jump into what we're doing here. Right? Probably. Yeah, probably. Okay. So, to start out here, we're gonna be having AuroKT versus DanieldaSavage. Oh, hi Sep. How's it going? That is a Sep. Okay, so we're starting off with Zedderburn versus Absa. So this is a very whack matchup. Zedderburn kills Absa very early. I don't know how much Aro plays Absa and how much Aro wants to keep playing Absa, but there was a lot of Absa tonight, so we're going to see that a couple times. The main thing to watch out for with Absa is kind of just Zedderburn's kill power. If you're getting hit, you're probably going to die off of that hit very easily. Absa dies early off the top, and Zedderburn kills early off the top, so you know, bad combination for the goat. Zedderburn also doesn't have a terrible time approaching, so it's not too hard for him to like stay grounded and break through the wall of projectiles Absa has. I definitely want to see how Daniel's able to approach here, and how R is able to play sort of evasive, because that's something you kind of have to do in the MU. You just very literally don't get hit. Otherwise, you're suffering. Didn't actually say much about it at the gate, but I like the Power of Heaven starter here. I feel like it's going to be a little bit better for Daniel. But if R has decent uppy movement, there are a lot of ways you can jump between the platforms and kind of just like play airborne in a spot where Zedder can't as easily shut down space with fireballs. And hit you with some of his more dangerous combo starters. Also, is there a new fire effect when players are... Oh, you gotta attack those. That was a really interesting option from Daniel. You don't see that very often. I don't think Daniel was ready to get hit by the up air right there. So one thing you don't want to rely on too heavily with Absa is your down strong. It's not a particularly great move. It's decent for the option coverage and lingering hitbox, but the reward off of it is very minimal. F tilt, F tilt 2. Yeah, good DI holding out on the dash attack. You want to be ready to DI out, down and out specifically on dash attack, so you don't get dash attack chained or more dangerously gatlinged. Both those things are very deadly. Daniel attacking in right there on the up strong. And funny down strong, okay. A little surprised that worked, but sometimes that's all you need. I feel like Daniel's ending up in the air a little bit too much here. It's not necessarily that like he's getting caught in disadvantage a lot. It's just more so that like a lot of these attempts to reset to neutral still leave you on a platform where Absa can then continue to punish you. Yeah, once Daniel gets back to the ground, things definitely even out a lot more. And catching with the Fire Strong. Somehow managing to make it back right there. Yeah, I feel like in general it was really hard for Daniel to, like I say, get back to the ground. When you're approaching versus Absa, you want to be crouching a lot so you can not get crouch cancelled. That's something I really saw Daniel bring out here, and it's pretty important. Aura doesn't use Cloud that much, so it wasn't super relevant in that matchup, but as you're seeing more Absas that like use Cloud a lot, and especially use F-Tilt 2 a lot, crouching is going to be your best friend. I think for Aura, the main issue there was kind of not much of a punish game. A lot of the times you were kind of just getting like wave dash into like wave dash normal. So you kind of be going for like wave dash F tilt, just like wave dash F tilt, or like wave dash F tilt, wave dash jab, etc. With Absa, you want to try to take your confirms more to the sky and use forward air, back air, and up air to rack up damage and push them off stage, or super high in the air where you can start juggling them. Neither of which you were doing. Well, I guess you were juggling alright. As I guess was mentioning earlier, of course, Dano having a hard time getting to the ground. But the offstage play, not so much. Absa really thrives offstage. So you need to be ready to abuse that as best you can. Are going to be going back to the more comfortable pick here with Claren. Sorry, I need a drink. My voice sounds very gross tonight. I don't know why. I haven't really spoke much today, so I feel like it wouldn't be bad. Oh, I missed that. Daniel's playing Ori. Okay. Double character switch. Whole new matchup. Alright. Good parry right there. So F-Strong isn't really your best parry punish. For Ori, if you go to parry, your best punish, one of your simplest ones is going to be Dare. If you want to get fancy, you can do like Dare Sign Pop. A really easy one is also like, you can do Team Down Strong and get a free 18%, which is nice. But Dare Sign Pop gives you a lot more options. What was that? Slightly delaying the F-Strong. I think, yeah, so Daniel, definitely getting greedy when it comes to the strong attacks right here. With Ori, you're going to be looking for a lot of your kills. Either kills in the team up strong, or kills off stage like that, where you can either catch them in a bad spot with up air, or chain them with back air and bash and stuff like that. Ooh, and the details right there. I'm not sure if you had the right DI. In a situation like that, you want to hold down and out and then try to tech. A lot of the time, Claren will actually be reading that you're going to keep holding out. So I feel like tech in is going to be a good starter option. You might get hit by a sour D-tilt, but then it's going to be harder for her to follow up off of that because it's sour D-tilt right next to her. The positioning is not very good, and the random up air, that's kind of nice. I feel like a good tech. I like the use of up air here in neutral from Daniel. I think in some of these situations, flat drop Nair would also be worth busting out. Up air is going to be kind of a safer neutral option in general. But Nair will give you slightly more reward on hit. You can get a bash if they DI in. For example, they're going to get sent a lot closer to you no matter how they DI if you manage to land Nair. So the reward for it's higher, but again, it's slightly harder to hit. Daniel doing a good job putting on the pressure right here. Ooh. Alright, that was a nice little confirm right there. I'm not sure if Aura was ready, or if, not Aura, I'm not sure if Daniel was ready to actually get hit by the up tilt right there. I couldn't really tell what kind of DI that was. Not a particularly bad game from either side. They weren't super major flaws. I think one of the main things is just neither side is getting a ton of damage off of their neutral wins, and I think in particular Daniel isn't always using the tools he needs in neutral that are going to give him big damage off of neutral wins. Daniel going back to Zetterburn here. I will say, I do think, now that you're going back to Zetterburn, picking Gates seems like a really odd choice to me. The high ceiling on Gates means you're going to be getting kills later. And the thing is, Claren can still kind of pressure you through the platform sun gates if you're not prepared. So I would generally say this is a better Claren stage than a Zedderburn stage. I don't know what the bans were, of course, but for a Zedderburn in this matchup, I'd be looking for like Spirit Tree. Let me think, like Spirit Tree, maybe Forest Floor, stuff like that. Hello, Racing Rex. How's it going? Alright, you're a little bit slow on the down tilt right there. If you're going for double down tilt, which I think you were, you can literally just, like, mash it. I'll literally just, like, down tilt, and then just, when I hear the tipper sound, I just start mashing my C-stick down. So, recommend doing the same thing in a situation like that, because you're going to get them slightly further off stage. Daniel, that was not your best parry punish. I would generally advise against using down strong on parry. Ooh, S-strong? Unfortunate. Yeah, so I'm not going to necessarily, like, for this level, I'm not going to say just straight up go and shine F strong, even though it is technically the correct answer in that situation. I'd say, like, I'd say, like, shine F tilt, maybe. You can do, like, shine F tilt fireball, and then try to use the fireball to put more pressure on from there. Ooh, very nice little... Good tech from Daniel, but yeah, that was a very nice little string from Aro. Good grab. I feel like you're using grab a bit less in these games than you were on stream a couple weeks ago, which is something I pointed out I really like about your play, is like your willingness to use grab to reset combos. I'd say try to do that a little bit more, especially off of like Dare. And yeah, I like how you're playing patient now, Aro. That's really good to see. When you're in a situation as Zedderburn, really all you can do is like... Excuse me. I'm tired, I'm sorry. So as a Zedderburn in the situation where you're kind of far behind and Claren's trying to plat camp you, pretty much all you have is just the same thing you always have, which is you gotta bait your moves out. Most Clarens aren't really going to be approaching much at this point. So you'll need to put on a lot of pressure at mid-range and always be ready to whiff punish if they press the button at the wrong time. Nice little recovery there from Daniel. Good use of down B. I think at that point, with that down B, you were actually so high that you didn't really need to do it. You probably could have just safely landed. Hello, Aro. Good option coverage from Aro. Good tech. Okay, so Daniel, something I'm seeing right now that I'm pretty sure you can be doing in these situations that you're not doing is wall teching these F-strongs. So like if you're next to the wall, good punish, yeah. Are gonna be taking the set. But yeah, so Daniel, this is really important for Zedder in particular, just because of the ways that a recovery works, how you're often gonna be putting yourself in a position for a certain amount of time. When you're next to the wall, you can still tech, even if you're getting sent away from it. As long as touching the wall, the tech's viable. And from there, you can also wave lane on stage with your tech invincibility if you have air dodge, which is one of the strongest recovery options in the game. You can do pretty much anything you want off of that, because again, you're literally invincible. Good luck challenging that no matter who you are. So, you don't necessarily have to bring the waveland in yet, but I would definitely be looking for situations to tech those and be working those techs in, because even without the waveland, you can still do like tech back air, or just tech lane on stage safely. Like, you can, because you can live stuff like that at any percent with techs. That's a big part of like why, or like how Zedder recovery can at least be okay at times. I guess he has a loin. Zedder has like a loincloth, so I guess there's a belt attaching the loincloth to the rest of him. Okay, well that's that set done. Daniel is still here. Most of these sets have Daniel in them, so at a certain point I'm probably just going to stop reviewing Daniel and focus just on the opponent. Might even do that for this set. We're gonna have FluffyCoyote versus DanieldaSavage. Going back to Ori for now. No, you're not starting a game up. SMH. Yeah, that's what it used to be, just naked. It was kind of whack. So this sprite is just so weird. Right at the gate. Nice little string from Fluffy. Something I'm seeing right away is, Fluffy, you don't really have any flowers on stage. One thing I like to do is try to keep a flower near the corner. That way, it's kind of hard for the opponent to cover them. If you're sent off stage, the opponent will have to, like, waste time going to break the flower. And if it stays away from the action, the odds of it getting broken are pretty low, so you're always going to have grass on stage. Yeah, you're using more of it right now. But definitely don't forget to find those situations, particularly like in between stocks, where you can reposition your flowers. Here, so I'm going to pause real quick so I can give her a flowers too so I don't miss anything. I'll occasionally pause in these, but for those of you who aren't familiar with how Sove works, flowers will keep grass on stage, so any grass that exists will still stay. A little bit of grass will also be made near the flower if there isn't already grass there. And that grass will be recreated after losing the grass with a howl. You can also cancel off of flowers with side special. And another thing about flowers is important to note for characters with good projectiles is that flowers will tank projectiles. So as they're still sprouting, they have complete projectile invulnerability. And then once they are sprouted, they'll tank one projectile hit and before they break. So you can use that to sort of almost counter zone, where you put down a flower and then, like, let's say Eliana, right? If she wants to send a missile across the ground, because that's like an important part of her neutral, is just having that missile that she can control separately. She can no longer have that missile go across the ground because it's just going to run into the flower. It's important in like the Rano matchup in particular, like you want to have a flower in between you and Rano so Rano can't needle camp as easily. Stuff like that. But the main basic reason is just so you have grass on stage as often as possible. Howl is a really good option, and having grass on stage buffs your recovery in a lot of ways. When you have grass on stage while recovering, you get access to Chomp, you unburrow faster, so your options become even harder to react to. And you can howl off stage, if you're crook about it, to kind of swat the opponent away no matter where they are. That can really throw off the pace of their edgeguard attempt if they have to suddenly deal with your howl. So as long as they can't parry it, it's a pretty good option. Bad DI on that down strong. You shouldn't normally be dying to Ori down strong. Just kind of hold in a bit, and you will be safe. Fluffy, I know you've complained a bit in the past about not getting a ton of damage off of your neutral ones. I don't think that's been too big of an issue right here. Right now it's starting to become one though. If you're not sure about like Ori down strong or even Save down strong, I'm not sure which one you mean, but it can kind of apply to both. If you're really unsure, hold up and that'll give you partial DI no matter what way you're Oh no, you missed the B reverse. I know some players have an issue or like they can B reverse fine in practice but they can't do it in game. If you are not one of those players and you can't even do it in practice, definitely work on that because knowing how to properly control up B is really important for Soul's recovery. Especially because like pin, hydrate, I'll hydrate twice. Yeah, so Fluffy, if you haven't already, I definitely say practice that some more. God damn it, Sep. Yeah, definitely work on your B reverses if you haven't already. That's a really good idea. Especially because, like, pin B reverse to burrow is a really key part of how Sove tends to recover. You want to have access to that mix-up as best you can. So you're going to Blazing Hideout game 2, which I won't say is bad, but I won't say is good either. I don't really know a Sylvanas that loves the stage. I don't know too many that hate it either. It's just kind of like one of the most it exists so stages I know of. It's not necessarily, it's kind of like that for Zedder too. Like, it's not a good Zedder stage. So I guess it's not an awful pick, it's just a weird one. I normally don't see that many Sylphs counterpick here, so... Oh no! So in that situation, you could have definitely just air dodged right away. And with still the air drift, you might have been able to still wall jump and be reverse it. I'm pretty sure. When you do it, it's like sometimes you're just kind of fucked, but you do still want to try the air dodge cancel and try to drift in just in case. Because I want to say Sylph has the highest air drift in freefall. Ooh, nice bear. That was a really, really weird time to go for bear, but I respect it. Ooh, okay, so I'd say when you're doing these fairs against a grounded opponent, jeez, my voice is so fucked tonight, I don't know what's up with it. But yeah, when you're doing these fairs against a grounded opponent, one thing I think you could spread it to a little bit more is like fair jab, right? Sylph jab is a really key part of his combo game. It's a nice little sort of grounding tool because you have a lot of 50-50s off of jab too. So you can do like jab, jab, detail, you have jab, jab special, and just jab 3 as all as viable jab finishers. You can also intentionally drop the jab and try to just like cheese them with a strong attack if they're really looking out for one of those options, which most of the time they are. Ew. Once again, Daniel, I will say that's not, you're not CyberHexManiac anymore. I'm sorry. My brain is not with it tonight. I'm really just trying to focus on, like, finding tips to give, so I'm not really paying that much attention to the scoreboard, unfortunately. Blazing is interesting. One thing I will also say about Blazing, if you're gonna go to the stage, you really want to be using that platform. So using platforms with Sylph, I'd say, is a bit harder than it is with just about any other character. With his aerials being so laggy, you're going to have a bit of a tough time actually timing your flat drop aerials and finding the right times to use them. However, on a stage like this, it's still relatively easy to time them because the plat is so high up. You can kind of retreat to that platform and do like plat drop fairs and plat drop nairs. Remember that Sylph is still like mobile on the ground. This will apply to platforms as well. So you can just sort of double jump wavelet on the platform and then use that to sort of reground yourself and find a spot to do a flat drop aerial. I definitely say that if you're gonna take to Blazing, something you want to learn to use a little bit, because most of us don't use platforms that much, and it is something you can incorporate if you want to be a bit more interesting with yourself. Anyway, Daniel taking that set 2-0. Hopefully at least some of that will be helpful, Fluffy. I think I have one more of your sets to look at in a little bit. I do. But in the meantime, we have yet another set from DanieldaSavage here. This time it's going to be Newfie versus DanieldaSavage. So we have Rano. I don't know if you're still going Setterburn. Rano Setterburn. Okay. What do I know about this matchup? Let me think here. Somehow, despite these being fairly common characters in Recess, I don't feel like I actually see this matchup very much. It's so weird. It's like I don't have that much I can really say right now about it. That's so odd. I guess for Rano, as per usual, you're really going to want to focus on, well, offstage is always a great place to find kills for Rano. So one of the things you can think about in this set is, and honestly, this will apply to most matchups, but it goes here as well in a really, in what I think is a really interesting way. Can you get Zetterburn off stage without an air dodge? Because if you can get Zetterburn like near the blast zone with the burn air dodge, with good use of fair mostly, that's a dead Zetterburn. There's just literally no options you have at that point, because up B's not going to take you far enough, down B's not really going to take you far enough, stuff like that. So definitely try to focus, like if you're having trouble getting kills on stage at any time, really focus on the edge guard, because that's going to be very strong for you. I think that was an LVA right out the gate from Daniel, but not really lining it up very well. Yeah, so when it comes to killing with Rano, most of the time you're going to be looking for your detailed upstrongs. You're going to mostly be looking for upstrongs. If you're lucky enough to get a parry, downstrong is one of the freest punishes in the game. Otherwise, I'd say most of your kills are going to come from fair, up air, and up strong. Ooh, getting parried on the up tilt. Okay, so the raw nairs right here are not super great. Rano neutral is very contingent on using platforms, so you're basically going to be using needles and platform movement most of the time. Is kind of just like the backbone of Rano gameplay. So when you're doing those short hop nairs, I would highly recommend instead trying to make them plat drop nairs. So we could probably do, it's going to be a bit weirder on Joe's Veil because of the moving platform. We could probably do a stand on that platform, charge needles to like make sure you have a full charge, and then use the platform to come down with Nair or Fair. Because like Nair, Fair, and Bear are all really good moves to use from a plat drop. What's nice about Fair in particular, even though it's a bit slower than the other two, is that it has so much range and such a weird angle that a lot of the time people won't actually expect to get hit by it and will just get sent right off stage. Where you can then set up into an edge guard. You can try to like snipe them with needles. Or just use more fairs to continue walling them off. You have a ton of options. Down strong right there is going to be taking game 1. So going to Daniel. Daniel's playing pretty well recently. Definitely hoping you can enter RSC sometime soon, so I can see you play in there. See if you get back on the amateur stream or even making an enter, I don't know. Okay, so not a bad stage pick. I'd say this is a pretty good one. And this is a stage that's really going to enable you to do what I said last game, which is you want to be using your plat drop aerials in neutral. So I think a lot of the time, I think a lot of the time when you have the opponent, when you manage to catch him with tongue like that, I feel like most people still go for the dive kick after, because what'll happen with the, okay, I rarely see needles get past, so I got really caught off guard, sorry. I think if you tongue them with side V, most of the time they're going to still dive kick it, so that you can send them away and kind of reset to neutral a little bit more. Oop, missed input from Daniel? That was a little bit strange. Oh, this is bad. So this looks like, okay, Rana's back on stage. Just for a second, that was a Rana with no resources, and that's not what you want to see. Okay, tempting the second fair right there. Newfie, I do think you could be hit falling some of these aerials a bit better. I'm not seeing too many hitfalls in general. I'm not seeing none of them at the very least, which is still good. I think you like do have the general idea down, you're just not remembering it enough of the time. So definitely work on your hitfalls. See if you can do like a good practice routine you can do. Good tack. Good tack. Unfortunate. Okay, I'll say this before I explain. I'll explain hitfalling after this set actually. I'll give you like a good drill to do in case you haven't heard it. But one thing you can do to stall your recovery that's kind of like a nice little way to reset the situation is just kind of press down B near the ledge. If they're trying to charge a strong, you can just hold down special and you're going to float near the ledge like that. Ooh, I really like that fair right there. Doing a good job of shutting down the up strong before Daniel's able to really get it out. Also a good way to make tongue recoveries a little bit safer. Okay, good dash attack. Oh, unfortunate drift right there. I think you kept drifting in. I'm not sure if drift out would have saved you by the time that you had already DI'd in. Okay. That's unfortunate. So for the hit falling drill, I was gonna go over. Yeah, for the hit fall drill, I was gonna go over. What you can do is just go into the training room and give an Edalus or just some other heavyweight full stack needles, and then tongue, and just see how many hit fall nares you can get. If you want to make it even more like sort of extreme, you can send the drift down, so you can just keep spamming hit fall nair, and you can get like I want to say like once you get the hang of it, you can probably get like 7 or 8 hit fall nairs if they're drifting down. Otherwise, though, yeah. Bull combos are a really good way. Another good hitfall drill is if you go to Aether Frozen Fortress in training mode, you have these walls that you can hit. So you can just go into the corner and just spam hitfall on the wall until they break. That's another one that I was showing someone else, because the bubble one is a little bit of like applied hitfalling for Ono. But that's another good option, is the Frozen Fortress one. So both good ways to practice hitfalling. I'd say practice it with Nair, because if you can do it with Nair, you can probably do it with other aerials. Nair, maybe Bear, are going to be your best bets. So yeah. For these like lightweight combo characters, hitfalling becomes sort of extra important, because a lot of the time that's going to be like how you're getting damage, is just a lot of rapid fire hitfall aerials, especially for like Ori, Rano, Maple, and Zetterburn. Ones like those. Yeah, the bubble one's really good. You can also try to learn some of the, you can try to learn some, like, the bubble confirms in Academy if you're in the Academy. I'm sure many of those utilize hitfalling in some form. And that'll also help your kill game, because if you're able to get a tongue at, like, upper mid percents, or just, like, high percents, you can convert into a kill off of that, and that's always good to know. There are lots of bubble kill confirms, just, you have to, like, read their drift, so sometimes it gets a little bit tricky. Alright. I'm wishing you the best of luck, hoping to see you bust some of that out next week. We're going to be going into AuroKT versus FluffyCoyote here. So, Apsa and Sylvanas. This is a matchup I personally really like. A lot of Apsas hate it, and some people think that this is a losing matchup for Apsa. I do not. I think this is a very even matchup. But yeah, this is one of the matchups I always felt like I knew the most about, so hopefully I can bring some of that. Sylv being such a grounded character is really nice versus Apsa, because Apsa is a character that wants to make you jump and wants to pressure your jumps. So as Sylv, you really need to like lean into the grounded element of the character in a matchup like this. You can just kind of inch forward and crouch cancel, because usually Apsa can out-camp you at long range. And then at close range, it's really important that you put the pressure on and get as much damage as you can. I think the Gates pick is pretty good. Gates is generally considered Apsa's worst starter and possibly even her worst stage. Either this or Blazing. Some Apsas do make it work, because there are ways you can use Uppy to make it work, but it's a lot more awkward than the others. Oh, and once again, this inputting Uppy. Okay, yeah, so we're seeing the same fair strings we did before, so I'll just say again, you know, fair jab is something that I would like to see personally. And you have so many options off of your jab. I actually don't see you use jab in general very much. Now that I look at it some more, I'm also not seeing a lot of wave dashing. Which is even if you're gonna try to play more of a defensive style, which I know you said you like, wave dashing is still really important, because that's a good way to sort of bait the opponent into coming in. With wave dashing, Sylv is, I think, like, the second fastest character on the ground. Maybe third because of, or even fourth, because, like, some characters get big buffs to their wave dash, thanks to, like, their own personal mechanics. By default, I believe Sylv has, like, the second fastest wave dash. So, you get really good ground mobility. And that can still help your zoning, like I said, because you're able to move yourself around more and put your hitboxes in more spaces. No, RRC is RRC is Sunday, RAS is Thursday, Ban is every other Wednesday. That might be what you're thinking of. Ban is basically just RAS 2. But yeah, Fluffy, I would definitely say use some of the Academy's movement drills. Learn wave dashing in particular. Definitely grind the movement out, because that's going to do you so many favors. Yeah, Ras is also an amateur bracket. But it's also, like, it's a standard double elimination bracket. Oh, good chomp right there. Catching R, getting a little bit overzealous. So, Fluffy, I mentioned this to you before, but remember that fair up air is a nice little confirm you can do with Sylvanas if they're holding in. A lot of the times if they hold in on certain moves, you're able to actually just get an up air. I'm not sure if you could right there, they're probably too high up. I think at that point there wasn't really any confirm you had. So when Abs is up being at you like that a lot, you want to use like a disjoint or a lingering move to beat it out. I'd say for Sov, your best bet's going to be fair, but you can also, yeah, okay, no, usually use fair. Ideally they'll hold it in, like I said earlier, I got you up air for that. If you're really lucky, you'll get a sweet spot and they'll just die. So yeah, use fair for edge guarding a little bit more. I also would, like, if R ever goes low, if Abs in general ever goes low, F tilt's really good for edge guarding, because that basically shuts down an entire sort of column of vertical space when the seed's falling. Ras is Thursday nights at 8 PM EST every week. Okay. Aramata for game 2, not a bad stage pick. As long as you can recover, this is a really good stage for Self. You have some funny things, like F-Strong hitting top flat. It's fairly flat, and the platforms aren't really that useful for neutral anyway, which helps Sylve a little bit. There's definitely some good stuff here. Yeah, so some of these like dash attacks you're using to try to follow up, I would sub in with Wave Dash Jab once you can do that. Wave Dash Jab is a really key part of how I like the combo with Sylve personally, because I really like jab resets on this character. For lack of a better term. So, you can do like down tilt Wave Dash Jab, for example. That's something I like to do if they're not DIing hard out on down tilt. I like lure them in for sense. Nice little way to sort of turn a mid-range poke into like a close-range combo. And then again, Sylve Jab, so you get a ton of options. That's kind of the main takeaway I want you to get here, is like Sylve Jab is really good. It's not really good for the same reasons your typical jab is, because it's pretty slow and still has decent range. But at least it's slow by jab standards. But it's still a really good move, and you should be using it more. I think that was a misinput up B. Oh god, I'm sorry. Okay, so when you're using neutral special, try to jump when you know it. If you jump in neutral special, you're going to keep your movement, or like keep moving rather. That way you can continue to sort of drift towards the opponent. You can get your seeds higher up. That way you can kind of catch Absa and juggle more reliably. So F has a really good juggle game, and a lot of it's going to be made up of your up air and neutral special. So being able to kind of stay on the move, you should like jump on the platforms and stuff. All really good to have in your back pocket. Once again, I will say that I don't think you're having a particularly great time finding kills here. I think you're over-relying a little bit on, like, Down Strong really shouldn't have killed right there. Fluffy just wasn't prepared. Fluffy, you probably should have held up. This is, like, your safe bet. But, yeah, I think I would say, like, F-Strong, if you really just, or if you get a parry, Up-Strong would probably be your best bet. I think Up-Strong will still hit Sylve, so try to use that a little bit more. And again, as I mentioned earlier, kick combos are really nice. We haven't seen that many of those from you. And if you're going to stick with Absa, you really need to learn your kick combos, like I was telling Zim last week. Alright, so we're going to have Slushee versus DanieldaSavage here. We have an Ori Ditto. Most people hate the Ori Ditto, but I remember someone saying, I think it was Daniel, that they like the Ori Ditto. So, see if you're able to play it well. Can't believe there are going to be 2 rats on my screen here. Alright. Here we go. There are so many Dittos, or so many Oris tonight. Like 3.5. Alright, so Daniel, if you don't mind, again, I am sorry to kind of be shafting Daniel and Aro here, but you two did pretty well. And I've seen your play before, so I do want to give people that I haven't seen a chance, if you don't mind. Anyway. Slushee, I'm excited to see what you got here. I have not seen you play yet, so... Okay, nice little set of down airs. I respect it. Let's see here. I think... So the down airs are really funny. I think you're using down air a bit too much. You don't want to over-rely on the move because it's a really high commitment. Daniel, I don't know what that was. I think when you get an up tilt, and this, the other Oris keep this in mind, I feel like when you get an up tilt, that's kind of a free up air most of the time. So whenever I mess around with Ori, I really like lead dash up tilt to catch people on plats. It's not always easy to get stuff off of it because it's a multi-hit and the move doesn't really function well on flats. But I think it's a decent striking move. Up air is also going to be really nice for just throwing yourself at them and trying to convert into big damage. Oh, you're going for dash attack up strong, okay. Ooh, that's a parry. So Daniel, at a percent like that, one of Ori's best parry punishes is actually just raw up strong when it comes to killing. Team up strong kills stupid early. A lot of the reason for that is going to be because it drags you up high. So Oris, remember that if you're like an upper mid percents and you get a parry, try to line up team up strong because nothing else is really going to kill earlier. Oh, Slushee, you kind of deserve that. Yeah, so when you get the dare, I'd say instead of doing those really scuffed dare loops, you'd be much better off doing like dare up air or dare nair and just like hit falling it. You could even do like dare hit fall jab or like dare hit fall F strong sometimes. But yeah, if you're getting into that height, you should do like dare up air or dare nair. And then nair has a lot of combo routes you can get off of it. It should usually be setting them pretty high up. So you're usually going to be able to get up airs. You can sometimes get more nairs or bash, as I mentioned earlier. All viable options off of nair if you're able to land it. Also think for everyone to remember, because I am seeing a bit of taps use here. It's not super extensive, which is good because you don't want to have extensive tap use. It's really easy to avoid. Remember the taps don't have hit stun. So if they're tapping, you can just mash air dodge, and that will get out of anything they're trying to do. Now, they can read the air dodge still in some situations and try to punish you for that. But chances are, whatever they hit you with after an air dodge is going to be a bit less good than whatever they were going to hit you with after the tap. Those taps are basically just to kind of disorient you and throw you off in most situations. And sometimes they're good for kind of stopping your knockback and doing combo resets, but a lot of the time I'd say it's mostly just a disorientation thing. A little bit, yeah. They're actually even more avoidable than like Rana Up Air 1, because Rana Up Air 1 at least has like true combos on lightweights. Because of the way Headstone works in this game, that was an unfortunate SD, but it'd be like that. But yeah. They're pretty avoidable, you'd have to be prepared for them, so. And lots of dash attack from Slushee right here. One thing I will caution against doing for Ori that I mentioned before is you don't want to use too much side B in neutral. It's not the worst option, but the move slows you down, and one of the biggest strengths of Ori is your mobility. So yeah, a move that's just going to completely full stop you until you have finished it is not really what the character wants in most situations. And the projectile is pretty reactable. The main strength of side B is mostly just going to be being able to catch it with bash. I'm sorry. Right, the arc aspect of it is generally a weakness more than it is a strength. So, okay, we're going game 3 in the Ori Ditto here. Yeah, Daniel, you should be teching those dares if you're seeing them every time. In some situations, I actually think teching Ori dare is usually going to be kind of safe. It doesn't sound too easy for Ori to tech chase after dare. It should still be possible, but it won't happen too often. So most of the time, if you can tech Ori dare, that's a move I'd say tech most of the time. Or basically all of the time. Ooh, not the best DI right there. Getting the random bash. Ooh, alright. Downright beating the down air. So one thing I'll say for both of you, because like your dash attack strings are working, but you get a little bit more damage if you just do like dash attack, weave dash jab. That's a nice little combo reset you can use for Ori. Yeah, so Slushee, it kind of feels like right now on the ground you can only approach with dash attack. So if you haven't already, definitely spend some time working on your movement, because I'm not really seeing that many wave dashes from you. And Ori's wave dash is really good. Like I said, the character's main strength is mobility. So you need to lean into that mobility aspect as best you can. And the thing is with mobility, right? Like, no matter how you want to play your character, it's a good trait to have. So definitely work on your movement a bit, try to refine it some more. Because the game plan in neutral has been very linear, especially on this game, where like you don't even really have platforms you can retreat to. It becomes a lot easier for Daniel to just kind of step back and wait for you to come in with the dash attack. Oh, what? Huh? Okay, that was a really strange way to end the set. Daniel managing to take it. Because random strong attack funny. Alright, so I think I have like one more set in here. Oh, I have another Ori Ditto with Slushee in it. Let's go. Let's go, Slushee. Play the Ori Ditto. Man, all these Ori Dittos gonna drive me insane, I swear. Too many rats. Okay, where is this? Wait, who is this? Oh, Mira. Dang, I didn't get to check these, Mira. You have your replays backwards, unfortunately. I think you have, like, oldest to newest replays. Because you have 2 from online casual, and then a game with me. Do you want me to VOD review the one game you submitted where I'm playing Edalus against you instead? Because I'll do that. It's okay, it happens. But yeah, I'm guessing you have them sorted oldest to newest, which some people just do. I don't know why some people do, but it happens. Here, I'll just show you. Look, it's right there. I mean, like, I could review it. Probably be pretty quick, but I could. I feel you. If you think you can upload it real quick, I'll still watch it. Even though I'll admit my brain is not in wanting to watch more Ori Dittos mode. And again, I'm still willing to take your other set from casuals, but alright, yeah. So we're chilling here for a minute. I will now set this up. Not like I have to change anything, just the name. Alright. Man, I don't know how we got so many Oris in here. Just needs to be said. If you have any questions about Ori after fighting all this Ori tonight, you can feel free to ask them right now, and maybe I'll have an answer. Cause yeah, this isn't the first time CC has been full of Oris, and I said it then and I'll say it again. You should never lose to Ori ever again. No, Ori. Some of their sets were on stream because they kind of just played and then left, but they did play the video game. Let me see. They went 3-4 in bracket, so that is 6th place because they lost a tiebreaker. Actually, no, they didn't lose a tiebreaker to Slushee. They just had less game wins. So yeah, I think they played last week too, or like 2 weeks ago. I think it was last week. How is Apsa a villain? Because Apsa, well, I mean, in this context, I wouldn't say Apsa's a villain, but normally I would say Apsa's a villain because your character cheats and is not okay in any capacity. Who thought that forward air gets to be, and back air, both get to be combo moves and kill moves? Come on. Give me a break, man. Don't want to deal with your stupid character. I usually play Eliana, Apsa in bracket when I know that I'm going to fight an Apsa, and it's so painful because if I get paired in the wrong spot, I literally just lose the stock, and it's like, oops, shouldn't have gotten hit, idiot. Like, there's literally nothing I can do, it's just, come on, Erase, you do not get to say this about Apsa. You are the Apsa simp, so I don't think you get to, Ah, fuck. God, why are people sending meat skins in recess? I'm so angry. Meat skins. I don't want meat skins. Yeah. Yeah, there are more. Hydrate? Okay. Thank you, Slushee. Oh my god. Meat skins, cringe. You would have won every game. Did it work? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's try this again, shall we? Yes. That... let me confirm something real quick. I have 2 of your games. I don't know if I have game 3. I do not have game 3, unfortunately. So, if you're okay with me not doing game 3. I mean, if you can grab game 3, you can DM it to me directly instead of resubmitting it in the drive. Because it's just gonna be the one game. I'm gonna get started on this, I think, so hopefully you can still listen in on this in the background, just in some capacity. Yeah. Okay. How? Just drag the replay, like, file into my DMs or whatever. And then I'll just, like, download it from Discord instead of from Google Drive. So, if you can remember which games it was you dragged, just go, like, literally one game after that. You saved some, not all. It'd be like that. Okay, so getting into this Ori Ditto, we are going to tower again. I don't know if the other one's from the tower, actually. But this is a good stage for an Ori Ditto. Good space to move around on the platforms. And kind of just be smart about it. Some kind of funky movement from Mira right here. Good use of air dodge right there, remembering to use it to recover. You basically need air dodge to save yourself as Ori in those situations. So gotta keep that in mind. And no tech right there. I do definitely think that there is a handful of amateur players that kind of forget to use air dodge as a recovery resource. So I definitely appreciate seeing Mira bring that out here. Ooh, drifting right in. Unfortunate. So what I feel like I'm seeing from Mira right now is a lot of... I've talked to her about this before, but yeah, a lot of like kind of short-stopping her approaches with there, which is not particularly great. I talked a bit about, you know, some of Ori's other options in neutral. Like dash attack's not a bad one. You have wave dash jab as well, and flat jab aerials. One thing I do like from Mira here is that we've actually seen a bit of F-tilt. So like a lot of the other Ori players haven't used that much F-tilt. That move is actually kind of disjointed for some unholy reason. And it's a really nice way for Ori to kind of set up combos, especially if you do jab, jab, F-tilt. So I like Mira occasionally using it to try to like stuff out things that Slushee's trying to do. It's going to outrange basically any Ori normal that isn't a team strong. So that's good. Instead of trying to go for a strong Sagashi pull on flats, I would say just try to be quick and hit him with up air. That's going to be a much more safe strategy. You don't want to use strong attacks too much as Ori, because they do leave you pretty open to getting punished if you don't use them at the right time. And it's really hard to actually get anything off of them, like the reward is relatively low. One thing I will say, Mira, I'm not sure if you're really ever tacking here. Tacking is really important for, it's important for everyone. You don't always want to be tacking, but you always want to be able to tack if you, like, you know, can tack. You want to be able to do it. It's alright, Mira, it's fine. I'll just have to take these two games then. Were you just not able to find it? Anyway. Yeah, so as I was saying though, try to learn how to tack, because that's really important in general. Just knowing how to do it. So just hit dodge as you're hitting the ground or the wall. Oh, and Slushee getting a little bit greedy right there, trying to dare recovery. Why couldn't you DM it? Did it say it was too big? Okay, if it's in the Google Drive, I'll just grab it. We have... Okay, you stepped it too. Full gamer here. That was not it, apparently. Unfortunately, that was not it. That's so weird. I never had someone say their replay was too big. Oh well. Yeah, if you don't want to send it, I totally get it. Thanks, Aries. dash hacking into each other. The big brain strategies. And yeah, Mira kind of going for the dash hack strats right here. So yeah, one thing I'll say, I already said it a couple times, but I will say it again, because it's always important to remember. I would definitely say for both these players, work on wave dashing a bit more, but also using plot chop aerials as like basic ways to approach. Plot chop a bear in particular, it's really good. So if you can start incorporating that, you remember that you can drop from a platform at any point during your dash or run. So doesn't matter if you're moving, how you're moving, whatever. You can still drop from the platform, and you can carry all that momentum from the plat into an aerial. And Ori up there is also one of their most disjointed moves, which is kind of why I say up air a lot, because that's going to be one of your safest bets. It'll occasionally stuff out like some of the stubbier normals in this game, and hit people at range they might not fully expect. Oh, this mirror dead. That's unfortunate. Definitely be careful about when you're close to the wall, whether or not you burn your wall jump. You have to be very cognizant of that with Ori, with everyone really. But yeah. Yeah. So Slushee, in a situation like that, right? I wouldn't be running back and starting to throw orbs here. I would just keep going on the offensive, keep putting on that pressure. Orbs are actually kind of good in edge guarding situations, but I feel like they're only really good when the opponent is already like close to the blast zone. And you can just kind of like shut down some horizontal space. Yeah, normally you want to be using your aerials to keep like sending them right back off stage. Up air is like a safe option. Bear is really good for off stage carry, but it's a lot harder than some of his other more simple air dodge tactics, so if you don't want to try to incorporate that quite yet, I understand. But yeah, back air off stage is absolutely brutal. That was a weird run up down strong. Yeah, it's like the range on down strong is nice in the active frames. Like there are good things about down strong, but a lot of it is kind of overshadowed by the fact that the move just does not kill. So you generally don't want to rely on it too much. It doesn't kill and you don't get any reward off of it. Ooh, Mira, no. Mira, that's so sad. I think right there you could have air dodged. You kind of want to like just keep that in mind. Like sometimes you just gotta like mash your air dodge and try to get away. Unfortunately, I don't have game 3, so I guess we'll never know who won this set. How unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, down strong is kind of nice for the free 18%, but you also don't get anything off of it, so it's not that great. It's just okay. If anyone from that bracket wants to do like a quick first to 5 or something, I can do that before I do my homework. Otherwise, I'm gonna raid code and head out. Daniel, you want to do that? Okay. My controller is behind me. Just probably grab it. Lamau. So I should have you added. Let's do a first. Actually, not first to 5. We'll do a best of 5. So first to 3. And Daniel, who do you want me to play? I know. I've been lazy with my music pack, so this is like one of the few things I haven't changed yet, because I never wanted to figure out what to do here. I don't know whoever he says. Fluffy, if I feel like I have time, I might do more. I'm gonna do a couple best of 5s, probably, maybe just this one, but I'll try to do more, if I can. let's see. Was there anyone in Bracker tonight that I think you would want to play against? Let's see. We've had a lot of Edeli recently, so I'm gonna play some Edilus. This is a fun character. Okay. Money match? What's accepted? Martel, I'm gonna let you take over giving Ori tips for the time being, so I can play with Daniel and give my tips for him. So one thing I'm hoping here is that because I'm playing a heavy, you will have a slightly easier time taking in some of the combo tips I give you at least. Let's go for armor. I'm gonna need. That was very smart. I like that. Ooh, caught me off guard there. Okay, yeah, that was big brain. You're dead. Yeah, so I like that right there. You so with down B, you don't necessarily need to parry it. You can just kind of avoid it. But yeah, I like the use of down strong to break armor. That is one time I could definitely see it being good, just because like armor Edilus is so heavy. I am not landing my up airs today. Unfortunate. That's just a rip, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, you're mashing out a disadvantage. Now you're a real Rivals player. Good job. Oh, heck. Jumped right into it. That's some damage. You're probably dead. Yep. So when you get hit by Edilus F strong, you can do no DI, or you can. I would say generally you want to do no DI and then react to the GIF, just because you never actually know where that move is going to send you. It's a super weird move. Generally one you're going to have a tough time dealing with effectively, just because Edilus is stupid. Okay, this is not a bad stage pick for. I guess it's not the worst, at least for Ori. Remember with the stage though, the stage is really good if you're able to incorporate flat drop aerials. Which I don't see you do too much. So, oh, I'm stupid. Okay. Oh, rip. Yeah. So like, I'm gonna try to do that the stock here, if I can. Oh. I haven't actually had much space to go to the. Oh, I was still alive. I thought I was just dead, gonna be honest. Yeah. That's an unfortunate situation. Against Daedalus, be really careful about tacking in for on up air. Because most of the time, that's going to mean... Heck, I'm missing things. Most of the time, that's going to mean a free down B. No! That's a free down strong. I'm misinputting. Grr. Okay, so for Daedalus up air, you want to hold straight down or down and in. There's some variables with it if you're off stage, but when you're on stage, definitely hold down. I would say like down and then tech out is generally what you're going to want to do. If Daedalus has ice, you can still cover tech out with a Dacus, or just a dash attack in general, but it's a lot harder too than just the free down B you get. No. Well, attacking in is usually a bad idea. Not always a bad idea, but usually a bad idea. I think Spirit Treat's a good counter pick here. It's a bit more of a cramp stage. I will say that was a bit greedy of you. The down air versus Daedalus is good, but only to a point. Big rips, gotta be ready to DI that. Yeah, so the down air versus Daedalus is good, but kind of just to the point of like, if he has air dodge, that's kind of a free time to avoid air dodge and then safely get back on stage. I think you're going for, out of up tilt, you keep going for up tilt up strong when it's not working. So that's just some, like, that's going to be an issue with adaptation here. Is like, if you see something that's not really working that they're prepared for every time. I saved you. Good tech, by the way. But yeah. Kind of just an issue with adaptation, where like if you have something that's not working against someone, you need to be willing to stop doing it. I tried the funny. Oh, I'm dead. I deserve that. Good DI there. Good weight right there. That's some really nice patience. It's not super uncommon for people to just kind of like get scared and mash parry in landing situations like that. So I definitely appreciate you being willing to look out for the option here. Good drift, good drift. You tried to bash tap me. No, not bash tap. But so, you tried to tap me. Good attempt, but yeah. Ooh. Couldn't air dodge in time. And not it. I respect the icicle bash, but yeah. There you go. GG's. I mean, the thing is right there, like, Daniel was coming down, it was airborne, so there wasn't much he could do in that situation. But yeah, he didn't play too bad there. Daedalus is always kind of funky. I think the main thing I will tell you is get more aggro off stage. I didn't really say this that much during this set, because a lot of your aggression wasn't the best, but learn how to get aggro off stage versus Daedalus, because once you can burn his air dodge, he is a sitting duck, and that's really what you need to do in order to play the Emu. So definitely work on that. Otherwise, so good stuff. Alright, Fluffy, you seem to be the only other one who is interested, so if you're still here, quick best of 5, I am down. Otherwise, yeah. Okay, let me add you, because I do not have you added. I'm just gonna like ping you in matchmaking. Oh, I have that on. So let me didn't disturb. Okay, if you have a specific character and potentially playstyle you want me to adopt, let me know. I will try my best to do that here. Otherwise, I will go... You hate the Sove Ditto, so I'm not going to be mean in Sove Ditto, even though I really want to. I will give you a Rano. Rano? I'll play Rano. I don't think I'm awake enough to play anything that isn't a water character. But yeah, this is a set for you to learn things, so if you have a specific character request or anything, throw it on me right now. Aggressive Rushdown Maple? Aggressive Rushdown Maple sounds like something I can do a little bit better. So you're getting Aggressive Rushdown Maple. Ah, I can't do less than that? Alright, fine. 169. Because I am a funny woman. There. Okay. So, yeah. Ideally, I'll try to use a little bit less Lily right here and just focus a lot on abusing plat movement if I can. Which is why I am going to be banning... probably Gates. Yeah, I'll probably ban these 2 stages. I mean, if you take me to Jules, I am going to have to use Lily. I hate how Sibling looks with this skin, which sucks, because this is like one of the best maple skins. This is probably the best maple skin I've ever had in a custom color slot. Okay. Oh, that was a terrible spot for me to play Soleil. Let's see here. Oh, heck, you can CC that. That makes a lot of sense, but I never really see anyone abuse it. Oh, there you go. So that's one way that Maple will sometimes try to recover that you should be ready to abuse. Ooh. Rewrap. That's always fun. So in rewrap situations, if you think the opponent's going for that, honestly what you did is kind of right, unfortunately. I just happened to read it, so... Ooh, I'm dead. Good catch. And look how you have flowers right now. Your stage control right now is really nice, so use the time between stocks to get a little bit more set up and have push your advantage. Good tack. Man, that's probably it itself. Yeah, even with your weight, there's not much you can do in a situation like that. Okay. Yeah, so I was seeing some improvements there over some of the replays I saw earlier, right off the gate. I feel like you have a tough time finding opportunities to bring out your kill moves, which is gonna hurt you quite a bit in the long run. That's one of the main things to think about as you're playing. Once again, you're taking me here, so I am going to be pot chopping the fuck out of you now. I already kind of was before, but I'm going to do it even more this game. I should do a Platmoost. I should do Platmoost bear here. So one thing to remember with Maple when you're edge guarding is, yeah, I think he did actually go for it and I just happened to slip by. Seeds and Fair are both super good, since there's not really much Maple can do to, like, reliably get past them. Maple recovery is, in my opinion, one of the least good in the game. Yeah, just kind of one of the worst. We are so good at this game. Double roll. Okay, that was a bad spot to play Sully. One thing I will say, that's a nice little Lily, I wouldn't necessarily say Maple specific, but still important to remember. For Maple, because like you're probably not going to be using this in many other situations yet, is you can do what's called triangle dashing to get rid of Lily on platforms. Sorry, was focusing there for a second to recover. But yeah, you can do what's called triangle dashing, so you're going to jump up to the platform and just air dodge down. And that will get rid of Lily on plats, so you can help save yourself the time, or save yourself the stock in some situations, if you're willing to throw advantage away to get rid of Lily. Sometimes it's something you kind of have to do, is like, be willing to throw away a potential advantage situation. That was unfortunate. Man. Maple is stupid. Oh yeah, we actually both live in like basically the same city, so that would make sense that we're getting really low ping. At least right now. I go to college in like the same city Fluffy lives in, so checks out. Right, you want me to be more aggressive, so I'm going to try to do that. Much better job right now. Now that, like, I kind of feel like I need to be slower. And you're doing a good job sort of abusing the fact that I'm playing slower. It's one move I will say that you almost never use, actually just never use, that I think you should use a bit more, is up strong. So, like, it's one of those moves that's, like, big, dumb, funny move. You definitely don't want to over-rely on it. And a lot of Sylphs will develop the bad habit of over-relying on it. So I will give you a lot of credit for not doing that. If it looks like I'm going to tether, be ready for that mix-up, because that's one of the most common mix-up at this level. What you can do to avoid it is, for Sylph, I'd say up tilt is going to be your best bet, because then you get, like, center hit up tilt, and you can do a lot off of that. I crossed up both of us on that. I was trying to send you to the left. Oh, but, yeah. I'm sorry, I keep trying to say too many things. Oh yeah, so up strong is really nice if it looks like I'm going to recover high, and you want to, like, recover that space. Nothing will be quite as scary as that. Good DI. Ah, no. Oh, okay. Unfortunate. And the up air are gonna just take the stock. Ah! No reverse side B. Unfortunate. Going for a lot of, like, raw nair right now. It's kind of silly. I was gonna try to parry bait you, so good job for not getting parry baited, I guess. Good DI. Not much you can do about that, unfortunately. GG's. So yeah, big thing is going to be knowing how to use your kill moves more effectively, because that's something you're really struggling with, is you're not really readily finding the best times to use your kill move. And I mean, that makes sense, because obviously a lot of kill moves aren't going to be very good in neutral. No, you're $169 dollars. Whatever will you do? But yeah, definitely look for more situations for your kill moves. Like I said, up strong is a really nice one. At times, for shutting down like a ton of vertical space when I'm trying to recover. This can go in a lot of matchups. Just don't over-rely on it. It's a mix-up, right? These are all like mix-up options, as I'm sure you're aware of because you play other fighting games. If you can ever catch me rolling, B strong's pretty good. Side B up strong is like your easiest kill confirm, and you never really go for side B, which is another thing you need to work in. I think a lot of it is just you're very, very slowly working in those moves into your gameplay. And right now, you're still at a point where a lot of them are missing from the mix. So I'd say like jab, up strong, and side B are probably the most egregious, or probably the most notable misses, rather. It's a really harsh word. Howl as well, but Howl is a little bit less needed at the gate, I think. I feel like jab and B-stash will do a lot more yeah, right out the gate. So yeah. See Mira. But yeah, definitely work on just bringing in the rest of his moveset. Sylph doesn't have any bad moves, except for like maybe F-strong, but even then that move is still kind of good in like a couple situations. And you're really heavily over-relying on like your tilts and your aerials right now. Pretty much anything that isn't one of those two is getting a little bit shafted. Ow, my hair is tangled. Ow. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, I don't think there's too much I have to add on to that. Yeah. I totally get that. Like, it's totally understandable too neat to take things piece by piece. I think I want to say like wave dashing and jabbing should be the two things you're trying to work in right now. For sure. Those two things will help you make a lot of progress. And the funny thing is too, jab 3 is like a really funny kill move because if they don't DI it properly, it will actually just kill them, especially by ledge. Like, one of the funniest things in this game is if you jab them in the corner of rock wall, if they DI out, they die at 0, which is just really funny. So you can do stuff like that with jab 3 occasionally, which is why I do think it's the worst jab follow-up, but it's still a really good jab follow-up because it just has a really good jab. Not much I can really think to add on to that. Feel free to do anything. You have 3 sets recorded now, your 2 from the tournament and that one, so if you want to ever have someone else look at them, you can do that too. But I think you do have a lot of info to work with right now, so hopefully you can make it happen. I am really tired. I'm going to go stuff my face with some unhealthy snacks and really hope I don't have any homework due tonight, so yeah. Gonna head out. Good night, everyone, and good luck. Hoping to see most of you come out for the next RSC and make some progress there. Bye-bye.